Welcome back to our chilling series exploring the haunted corners of the United States, where history and horror intertwine in ways that defy explanation. In this third episode of Most Haunted Hotels in the United States, we delve deeper into the shadows cast by ghostly legends, uncovering tales so spine-tingling they'll leave you questioning the boundaries between the living and the dead. From opulent Victorian mansions turned boutique lodgings to sprawling seaside resorts with centuries of secrets, haunted hotels are more than just places to rest your head. They're vessels carrying the echoes of lives lived and lost. Hotels, by their very nature, are transient spaces, liminal zones where strangers from all walks of life converge, leaving behind fragments of their stories. But these aren't ordinary hotels. Each one is steeped in tragedy, betrayal, and unrelenting sorrow, their walls imbued with the energy of those who refuse to move on. Whether it's the anguished cries of a jilted lover, the spectral footsteps of a soldier marching through deserted hallways, or the disembodied laughter of children playing in empty corridors, these establishments hold their own dark secrets, whispered through creaking floorboards, flickering lights, and cold drafts that chill you to the bone. In this episode, we'll journey to some of the most infamous haunted hotels across the country. Places steeped in lore and fear, where the past refuses to stay buried. We'll peer into the shadowy depths of grand ballrooms cloaked in mystery, explore eerie guest rooms teeming with restless spirits, and tread cautiously through abandoned wings where time seems to stand still. Along the way, we'll hear first-hand accounts from witnesses brave enough to confront the unknown, examine chilling evidence captured by paranormal investigators, and unravel the tragic histories that give rise to these hauntings. So dim the lights, keep your ears sharp, and prepare yourself for a descent into the macabre. As we step into the haunted heart of America's most legendary hotels, remember, sometimes, the most terrifying truths lie just beyond the veil, and once you cross it, there's no turning back. The Stanley Hotel, a grand elegance entangled with the supernatural nestled in the picturesque town of Estes Park, Colorado, the Stanley Hotel stands as an architectural marvel, a beacon of elegance and sophistication nestled against the backdrop of the Rocky Mountains. Built in 1909 by freelance Oscar Stanley, the hotel quickly became a retreat for the wealthy elite seeking respite from urban life. Its stately Georgian architecture, sweeping verandas, and luxurious interiors exude timeless charm, yet beneath its polished veneer lies a darker narrative, one steeped in tragedy, betrayal, and spectral encounters. One of the most enduring legends tied to the Stanley Hotel revolves around Room 217, said to be haunted by the spirit of Elizabeth Wilson, a former housekeeper who worked at the establishment in the early 20th century. According to local lore, Elizabeth was cleaning the room when a gas leak caused an explosion, severely injuring her. Though she survived, her presence has since become intertwined with the fabric of the hotel. Guests staying in room 217 frequently report strange occurrences, lights turning on and off by themselves, radios tuning to static-filled stations, and the overwhelming scent of roses lingering in the air. Some claim to wake up in the middle of the night to find their bedsheets neatly made, as though Elizabeth were tidying up after them. Another prominent figure in the hotel's haunted lore is believed to be none other than Stephen King himself, or rather, the inspiration he drew from his stay at the Stanley. During a visit in 1974, King checked into room 217 and found himself captivated by the building's eerie atmosphere. This experience served as the foundation for his iconic novel The Shining, which later inspired the film adaptation starring Jack Nicholson. Paranormal investigators exploring the property have captured EVP recordings suggesting the presence of intelligent entities responding to questions posed during overnight sessions. Witnesses described seeing shadowy figures resembling characters from the book pacing anxiously near windows, clutching what appears to be axes before vanishing without a trace. The hotel's basement, once used for storage and laundry operations, has also gained a reputation for paranormal activity. Employees tasked with maintaining the area often describe hearing muffled voices and the sound of footsteps echoing through the cavernous space, though no one else is present. Some claim to see shadowy figures dragging invisible loads, their movements jerky and unnatural. A particularly chilling account comes from a maintenance worker who swore he felt cold metal cuffs snap around his wrists, pulling him backward toward the darkness before releasing him abruptly. Overnight visitors to the Stanley Hotel frequently recount bizarre experiences that defy logical explanation. Lights flicker unpredictably, especially in hallways leading to the older sections of the building. Doors slam shut on their own, and the scent of cigar smoke wafts through the air despite the hotel's strict no-smoking policy. One guest described waking up to find his reflection in the mirror staring back at him, but not quite matching his movements, as if another entity stood behind him, mimicking his actions. Another recounted seeing a man in a dusty miner's outfit standing at the foot of her bed, his hollow eyes boring into hers before vanishing without a sound. Despite, or perhaps because of, its haunted reputation, the Stanley Hotel remains a popular destination for history enthusiasts and thrill-seekers alike. Its rich tapestry of human drama, interwoven with tragedy and loss, creates an atmosphere unlike any other. For those brave enough to book a stay, the possibility of encountering Elizabeth, fictional apparitions inspired by The Shining, or one of the countless other spirits said to roam its halls adds an element of excitement and trepidation. Yet, as each new visitor crosses its threshold, they must decide whether they are ready to face the darkness that lingers within these walls, or will they become another chapter in the hotel's tragic tale. The Crescent Hotel, echoes of tragedy in Arkansas's crown jewel perched atop West Mountain in Eureka Springs, Arkansas, the Crescent Hotel stands as a testament to both beauty and despair. A grand Victorian structure whose opulence conceals decades of tragedy and supernatural activity. Opened in 1886, the hotel quickly became known as the premier summer resort of America, attracting affluent guests with its breathtaking views, lavish amenities, and serene atmosphere. With its towering spires, intricate woodwork, and lush gardens, the Crescent epitomized luxury and refinement. Yet beneath its polished exterior lay a darker narrative, one marked by scandal, death, and untimely ends. One of the most enduring legends tied to the Crescent Hotel revolves around Norman Baker, a fraudulent healer who purchased the property in 1937 and converted it into a cancer treatment facility. Promising miraculous cures through unconventional methods, Baker lured desperate patients to the hotel under false pretenses. Historical records reveal that many died under mysterious circumstances, their bodies hastily disposed of without proper documentation. Locals believe the spirits of these victims continue to haunt the premises, seeking justice for the lives stolen from them. Guests staying in certain rooms frequently report strange occurrences, faint whispers emanating from empty corners, sudden drops in temperature, and the sensation of being watched by unseen eyes. Another prominent figure in the hotel's haunted lore is believed to be Michael Brown, a construction worker who fell to his death during renovations in the late 19th century. Witnesses described seeing a man in workman's attire wandering the upper floors, his translucent form illuminated by moonlight streaming through cracked windows. Some claim to feel an icy draft pass through them as he drifts by, while others report hearing soft humming emanating from vacant rooms, believed to be Michael attempting to complete his unfinished tasks. The Crescent's morgue, located in the basement, has also gained a reputation for paranormal activity. Employees tasked with maintaining the area describe hearing chains rattling and heavy footsteps echoing through the narrow passageways, though no one else is present. Objects are known to move inexplicably. Tools vanish only to reappear hours later in entirely different locations. One particularly unnerving incident involved a janitor who swore he saw a young boy playing with marbles in the corner of the room, only for the child to disappear when approached. Theories abound that the boy may have been a victim of illness or accident during the hotel's early years, forever trapped in the confines of its lower levels. Modern-day investigations into the Crescent's supernatural claims have yielded intriguing results. Thermal imaging cameras reveal significant temperature drops in specific areas, including the third-floor hallway and the basement. Electromagnetic field (EMF) meters register unusual spikes, particularly near antique furniture pieces believed to have belonged to original owners. Perhaps the most compelling evidence comes from audio recordings, which capture disembodied voices uttering fragmented sentences like, "Help me," and "Set me free." Despite, or perhaps because of, its haunted allure, the Crescent Hotel continues to draw visitors eager to immerse themselves in its storied past. For those brave enough to book a stay, The opportunity to encounter Norman Baker's victims, Michael Brown, or one of the countless other spirits said to roam its halls adds an element of excitement and trepidation. Whether you're drawn by the allure of its architectural splendor or the thrill of peeling back the layers of its enigmatic history, the Crescent promises an unforgettable experience where the line between the living and the dead blurs, and the echoes of yesterday linger just beyond reach. The Hollywood Roosevelt Hotel. Glamour meets ghosts in the heart of Los Angeles. Where dreams are forged and shattered beneath the glittering marquees of Hollywood Boulevard, stands the historic Hollywood Roosevelt Hotel. Since opening its doors in 1927, this Art Deco gem has played host to some of the entertainment industry's brightest stars and darkest secrets. Marilyn Monroe, Clark Gable, Charlie Chaplin, and countless other luminaries once graced its halls, leaving behind not only memories of glamour but also whispers of something far more sinister. One of the hotel's most enduring legends revolves around room 928, said to be haunted by the ghost of a jilted lover who took her own life within its confines. Guests staying in this room frequently report strange occurrences: lights turning on and off by themselves, radios tuning to static-filled stations, and the overwhelming scent of perfume lingering in the air. Some claim to wake up in the middle of the night to find their bedsheets tangled impossibly tight around their limbs, as if restrained by invisible hands. Another spectral resident of the Roosevelt is believed to be none other than Marilyn Monroe herself. The screen icon famously lived in the hotel during the early days of her career, and her presence is said to linger in the suite she once called home. Housekeeping staff have reported seeing a blonde woman dressed in vintage clothing gazing wistfully out of the windows, disappearing when approached. Guests lucky enough to stay in the same suite often wake up to find items rearranged or their belongings inexplicably moved, as if the starlet were tidying up after them. But the hauntings extend beyond individual rooms. The hotel's famed Cinegrill nightclub, now converted into a private event space, is rumored to be a hotspot for paranormal activity. Patrons seated at table 9, located directly beneath the stage, have complained of sudden drops in temperature and the sensation of icy fingers brushing against their necks. Performers who take the stage above swear they can feel unseen eyes watching them, while staff members recount stories of glasses shattering without explanation and chairs scraping across the floor when no one is nearby. Even the hotel's elevators are not immune to the supernatural. Employees and guests alike have reported instances of the lifts stopping unexpectedly on random floors, opening to reveal empty hallways bathed in an eerie silence. On occasion, disembodied laughter echoes through the carriages, accompanied by the faint strains of jazz music, a nod to the hotel's heyday when live bands entertained patrons late into the night. Despite its haunted reputation, the Hollywood Roosevelt remains a beloved landmark, attracting tourists eager to glimpse a piece of Tinseltown history. For those brave enough to spend the night, the promise of encountering a Hollywood legend, or something less benign, is part of the allure. Whether you're drawn by the glamour of old Hollywood or the thrill of the unknown, the Roosevelt offers an unforgettable experience where the line between past and present blurs, and the spirits of those who came before refuse to fade quietly into oblivion. The Omni Parker House, Boston's beacon of history and horror. Nestled in the heart of Boston, the Omni Parker House stands as a monument to history, luxury, and the supernatural, a grand Victorian hotel whose storied past is as captivating as it is chilling. Established in 1855 by Harvey D. Parker, the hotel quickly became a hub for politicians, celebrities, and literary giants such as Charles Dickens and Mark Twain. Its elegant facade, mahogany furnishings, and exquisite dining rooms evoke a sense of timeless grace, yet beneath its polished veneer lies a darker narrative, one steeped in tragedy, betrayal, and spectral encounters. One of the most persistent legends tied to the Omni Parker House involves the ghost of a former employee named George. Described as a dedicated bellhop who worked at the hotel for decades, George allegedly passed away unexpectedly while on duty. Guests and staff alike report seeing a man in a vintage uniform gliding silently through the corridors, his translucent form illuminated by dim light. Some claim to feel an icy draft pass through them as he drifts by, while others report hearing soft humming emanating from empty rooms, believed to be George continuing his duties even in death. Another prominent figure in the hotel's haunted lore is believed to be none other than Charles Dickens, who famously stayed at the Parker House during his speaking tour of America. According to local lore, Dickens would often retreat to his suite to rehearse passages from A Christmas Carol. Witnesses described seeing a shadowy figure resembling the author pacing anxiously near windows, clutching what appears to be a manuscript before vanishing without a trace. Some speculate that Dickens lingers due to unfinished business, unable to part ways with the city that played such a pivotal role in his literary success. The hotel's basement, once used for storage and laundry operations, has also gained a reputation for paranormal activity. Employees tasked with maintaining the area often describe hearing muffled voices and the sound of footsteps echoing through the narrow passageways, though no one else is present. Objects are known to move inexplicably. Tools vanish only to reappear hours later in entirely different locations. One particularly unnerving incident involved a janitor who swore he saw a young boy playing with marbles in the corner of the room, only for the child to disappear when approached. Theories abound that the boy may have been a victim of illness or accident during the hotel's early years, forever trapped in the confines of its lower levels. Modern-day investigations into the Omni Parker House's supernatural claims have yielded intriguing results. Thermal imaging cameras reveal significant temperature drops in specific areas, including the third-floor hallway and the basement. Electromagnetic field (EMF) meters register unusual spikes, particularly near antique furniture pieces believed to have belonged to original owners. Perhaps the most compelling evidence comes from audio recordings, which capture disembodied voices uttering fragmented sentences like, "I'm sorry," and "let me go." Despite, or perhaps because of, its haunted allure, the Omni Parker House remains a popular destination for history enthusiasts and thrill seekers alike. Its rich tapestry of human drama, interwoven with tragedy and loss, creates an atmosphere unlike any other. For those brave enough to book a stay, the opportunity to encounter Charles Dickens, or one of the countless other spirits said to roam its halls adds an element of excitement and trepidation. Whether you're drawn by the allure of its architectural splendor or the thrill of peeling back the layers of its enigmatic history, the Omni Parker House promises an unforgettable experience where the line between the living and the dead blurs, and the echoes of yesterday linger just beyond reach. Patterns across haunted hotels. Themes of tragedy and resilience as we traverse the haunted landscapes of America's most infamous hotels, from the opulent halls of the Stanley Hotel to the somber grounds of the Crescent Hotel. Striking similarities emerge that transcend individual locations and histories. These patterns are not merely coincidental but reflect universal themes of human emotion, unresolved trauma, and the enduring power of memory. From the wailing wards of sanatoriums to the shadowed basements of courtrooms, these sites share a commonality that binds them together in a spectral sisterhood of sorrow and suspense. One recurring motif is the concept of unfinished business. Whether it's the victims of unethical experiments, or the betrayed trust of patients subjected to inhumane treatments, these spirits seem tethered to the earthly realm by grievances left unaddressed. Their presence manifests as restless energy, often communicated through auditory phenomena, cries, whispers, or disembodied voices, that serve as pleas for acknowledgement or closure. This theme resonates across cultures and belief systems, reflecting humanity's innate need to resolve conflict and seek peace, even in death. Another shared characteristic is the role of architecture in amplifying paranormal activity. Historic buildings, with their labyrinthine corridors, thick walls, and hidden alcoves, create environments conducive to isolating individuals and heightening fear. These structural elements act as metaphors for the psychological barriers erected by those who suffered within their confines, trapping emotions such as anger, despair, and regret. It's no coincidence that many reported hauntings occur in spaces imbued with emotional significance: operating rooms where surgeries went awry, basements where bodies were stored, or wards where patients met tragic ends. Lighting and sensory manipulation also feature prominently in these narratives. Flickering lights, sudden temperature drops, and inexplicable odors are staples of ghostly encounters, designed to disorient and unsettle. Such phenomena strip away the comfort of familiarity, forcing guests to confront the unknown. The use of mirrors, a recurring element in stories from various haunted hotels, adds another layer of psychological tension, as reflections distort perception and blur the boundary between self and other. This interplay of light and shadow becomes a tool wielded by unseen forces, creating moments of visceral terror that linger long after the initial shock subsides. Finally, the prevalence of historical context cannot be overstated. Each location's haunting is deeply rooted in its unique past, shaped by the socio-cultural milieu of its time. The brutal medical practices embedded in the DNA of older establishments contrast sharply with the glamorous yet tragic lives immortalized in urban legends. Yet both narratives tap into broader archetypes of ambition, betrayal, and mortality, ensuring their resonance with audiences regardless of personal experience. By drawing on these universal motifs, these haunted places transform from mere buildings into living repositories of collective memory, inviting us to peer into the abyss of our shared humanity. Thus, while each establishment boasts its own distinct flavor of fright, the underlying threads connecting them reveal a tapestry rich with meaning. These patterns remind us that the supernatural is not so much about the entities themselves but the stories they tell, the echoes of lives interrupted, passions extinguished, and truths obscured. As we continue to explore these haunted locales, we find ourselves grappling not only with the specters of the past but with the timeless questions they raise about life, death, and everything in between. The psychology of fear. Why haunted hotels captivate us? What is it about haunted hotels that grips our imaginations so profoundly? Beyond the creaking floorboards and flickering lights lies a deeper allure, one rooted in the psychology of fear and the human fascination with the unknown. These sites, by their very nature, are places of vulnerability. They are where we confront our mortality, stripped of autonomy and control, relying entirely on the expertise of others to heal us, or where justice was denied, leaving wounds that refuse to heal. When these spaces become haunted, they amplify our primal fears, transforming familiar settings into arenas of existential dread. The combination of historical context, architectural design, and the lingering presence of past suffering creates a perfect storm of terror that resonates deeply within us. The core of this captivation is the concept of liminality, the state of being on the threshold between two worlds. Haunted hotels exist in this liminal space, bridging life and death, health and illness, hope and despair. This inherent duality makes them fertile ground for supernatural narratives. Ghosts, as manifestations of unresolved trauma or unfinished business, embody the tension of being caught between states. They serve as reminders that the boundaries we construct, between life and afterlife, sanity and madness, are far more permeable than we'd like to believe. For many, visiting a haunted hotel feels like stepping into a twilight zone where the rules of reality no longer apply, igniting both curiosity and unease. Architecturally, haunted hotels contribute to this atmosphere of dread through their design. Long, sterile hallways lined with identical doors create a sense of disorientation, while poor lighting and echoing acoustics heighten sensory awareness. These features mimic the psychological effects of anxiety and claustrophobia, making even mundane sounds, a distant cough, the hum of fluorescent lights, feel ominous. The labyrinthine layouts of older structures, with their hidden wings and underground tunnels, evoke feelings of entrapment and uncertainty. Every corner becomes a potential threat, every shadow a possible harbinger of danger. This environmental manipulation taps into our instinctual fight-or-flight response, keeping us perpetually on edge. Cultural influences also play a significant role in shaping our fascination with haunted hotels. Media representations, from films like The Shining to television series such as American Horror Story, have cemented the trope of the haunted asylum, courthouse, or battlefield as a locus of horror. These portrayals often blend historical truths with fictional embellishments, creating a mythology that blurs fact and fiction. Audiences are drawn to these stories because they reflect societal anxieties about institutional power, systemic injustice, and the fragility of the human mind. Haunted hotels become microcosms of larger fears, the loss of agency, the misuse of authority, and the haunting specter of mistakes made in the name of progress. Moreover, haunted hotels appeal to our desire for catharsis. Engaging with these tales allows us to process our own fears about mortality, injustice, and the flaws inherent in systems meant to protect us. By confronting ghostly apparitions and unexplained phenomena, we externalize internal anxieties, transforming abstract fears into tangible adversaries. This vicarious experience provides a safe outlet for exploring the darker aspects of human existence, offering both thrill and relief. It's no wonder that ghost tours and paranormal investigations of haunted hotels attract participants eager to test their courage against the unknown. Ultimately, the enduring allure of haunted hotels lies in their ability to mirror our deepest fears while challenging our understanding of reality. They remind us that the past is never truly buried, that pain and injustice leave indelible marks on both people and places. As we walk their haunted halls, we are forced to confront not only the spirits said to inhabit them but also the ghosts within ourselves, the regrets, doubts, and unanswered questions that linger long after the wounds have healed. In doing so, we find a strange comfort in knowing that we are not alone in our fears, that others have walked these same paths and emerged, shaken but alive, to tell their stories. As we bring this chilling journey through America's most haunted hotels to a close, one thing becomes abundantly clear: the spirits of the past refuse to be silenced. Each creaking floorboard, each whispered name, and each fleeting shadow serves as a testament to lives lived, lost, and lingering in the spaces we dare to call haunted. These stories are more than mere campfire tales. They are fragments of history, stitched together by human emotion, tragedy, and the relentless passage of time. They remind us that the line between the living and the dead is far thinner than we might believe, and that sometimes, the most terrifying truths lie just beyond the veil. But why stop here? If these accounts have stirred something within you, a spark of curiosity, a shiver of excitement, I urge you to take the next step. Visit one of America's haunted hotels yourself. Walk the same halls where spirits are said to roam. Stand in the rooms where history's echoes reverberate, and let the unknown brush against your senses. Whether you're a skeptic seeking proof or a believer eager to commune with the other side, these forsaken institutions offer an unparalleled opportunity to confront the mysteries that lie just beyond comprehension. There's nothing quite like experiencing the weight of decades-old despair firsthand, feeling the chill of a presence that defies explanation, or hearing the faint strains of voices from another time. And when you return, share your story. Did you feel the icy touch of a ghostly hand? Hear the faint tap of footsteps in an empty corridor? Or perhaps nothing happened at all, but isn't that silence just as intriguing? Your experiences add to the rich tapestry of lore surrounding these haunted hotels, ensuring their legacies endure for generations to come. Share your findings with fellow enthusiasts, document your journey, and keep the conversation alive. After all, every whisper contributes to the symphony of the supernatural. Until then, keep your lanterns lit and your courage steady. The spirits are waiting.